Ever since I got my phone at 14, I have watched the social media I jumped into giddily slowly turn against me. It started pretty slow, the usual funny animal videos or the memes or the musicians announcing tour dates and prices. But slowly, when election time starts coming by, everything changes. Politician X did this, politician Y did this, all the politicians are this. Constant demoralizing videos churned out by influencers into my personalized page telling me to not trust and not listen to anyone and to do drastic things if I want to live. It was horrible. Social interaction wasn't like this. Before social media, people were able to better understand themselves and each other because they had to socialize with each other in person. They didn't have the shield of anonymity and the power to spread poison in words. They would hang out at places like arcades or taverns. And even when they disagreed, there would be some weight of responsibility over that relationship because it was in person. This is because if a person can't see the consequences of their actions and how their relationships play out in real life, how can they feel responsible and how can they feel that emotional attachment? The internet was built to spread information that turned the most heads and gleaned the most likes and comments. The internet's algorithm doesn't care about whether it's spreading hate or love because it's just an algorithm. And so, it usually spreads hate, because hate is what makes the most heads turn. Rows of comments of arguments and polarized people fighting for random people and random things that don't matter to them in any meaningful way. The internet acts as a knife that constantly bisects the populace into categories and labels and groups. But what I realized in my short time in this universe is that because the internet spews distorted truths and lies your way, that the idea that people are divided and hateful does not hold up in real life. It is very rare to find someone now that will openly spew such rhetoric at you unless they're chronically online. People are much kinder and much more mindful because they understand the ramifications of their actions. The best example of this frame of thinking is Anthony Bourdain. I find his philosophy when it comes to people genuinely heartening. No two people are enemies when they share a table to eat some food. To engage in such an intimate act like eating together is to invite and reward deeper and kinder conversations. It is very rare that if you went to dinner with a stranger with kindness in your heart, they would be as belligerent as on the internet. People are just people. Everyone craves connection. I understand that some issues are so large a dinner table and some good ramen won't solve world hunger, wars, and political catastrophes, but I also know that most of us weren't radicalized because of our neighbors or classmates or parents. What radicalized us was the internet. It promised us information, unbiased and true, and fed us sensationalized propaganda of the highest order to get likes and make money. Information has become profitable and influential, and so we live in the modern era of the information war. The antidote isn't to debate or argue, it isn't to make documentaries or make forum threads to discuss, it's to be involved in the community. It's to go to farmers markets, library reading groups, any communal social event, because there you will realize that everyone is not just a political idea or belief, but a genuine person with interests and flaws. It's the radical, ancient, deeply unglamorous act of being in a room with people who are different from you and finding out what you can make together. All changes must start small if we want them to last. I believe we are more than what the algorithm says we are. I believe the version of our neighbor that exists on a screen is always a diminishment of the person who actually lives next door. And I believe that if we want to find each other in our truest forms, we have to log off long enough to see. I will start being part of a community. If I can't, I will make a community. It's up to you whether you do the same or whether you live your life constantly bombarded with the whims of the internet.